Former Member of Parliament for the UP says he would have dealt with the immigration issue differently. General Secretary of the WICSU PSU gives an insight into the letter of reprimand. But first up, President of the WICUA Union says she is happy with the support that she has been getting. Those are the headlines for Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, we have a packed newscast for you, so let's get started. In day 2 of the St. Martin Medical Center's manifestation, President of the WICUA Healthcare Union, former practicing nurse Brunilda Illich, met with the United Unions at the Rahul Illich Sports Complex on Tuesday morning. In a live interview with PJD2 Radio, former practicing nurse Illich said that she was happy with the support and solidarity that they have been getting. According to Nurse Illich, it's time we got up, and God knows it is moving.
Here like this together with all the, because we are part of the WICLU Union. And for them to come and show solidarity, this is great. That's because if you look at the views that we got since we start this, man, it's tremendous. Because right now, all over the world, you have marches. But we got along to stand up, like French St. Martiners do. Dutch too can do it. Because just how French St. Martin going through with people from France, we going through it. But we take and we stay lay back. We comfortable. Well, it's time that we got up. And God knows it moving. It moving. He have to go. He have to go. That's what happened.
And who has to go?
Mr. Marco Meuneman. And what I am saying here is not what the people alone tell me, is what I read that he wrote his own words on paper. And then this man take over also the HR department. Come on. If somebody don't have no social skills, how to deal with people, how in God's name can he take over the HR department? From time he take it over, he went inside, he started to check there who's part of the union, who have a big mouth. And when we say big mouth, we mean who don't take anything, what anybody say just like that without questioning. That's assertiveness, okay? Who have contract? From time you say you have contract, man, you're going to touch the people inner feeling if you questioning their contract, especially nowadays. Contract, that word contract is like no money in my pocket. So you have a lot more who feel the same like these here standing up today. A lot more, but they're so scared and intimidated by part of management of St. Martin Medical Center. Man, I love this place. I love it bad. And I cannot just lay back and just listen and don't do something. And I told them, let me tell you something. All I have to do is say, pick up and move. They think I just threaten them. Because they even ask me if it's a threat. I say, you take it any which way you want. Any which way you want. And I'll tell you all, I'm going to continue with this. I'm going to continue with this. Tell what? The first KLM, we're leaving here. Go. One thing though I want. This morning I got a call from Holland, from the General Director. So far, I have no beef with the General Director. I have a good working relationship with him, whether when I was staff or union. Okay? And he asks me something and I tell him no. I'm not doing that. I'm going ahead. When you solve it, that Marco got, then we back to normal. Even if the people have to bring pillows straight down on the ground and lay down, they're going to keep on coming in and moving the action. And that's my thing. Move. Stand up for your right. You touch one, you touch all. Especially if you touch those born to be here and those local people. I ain't fighting for only born here. No. You come here to make a living, and you're going to make that living, and you'll get equal opportunity to do it too.
And still to come, Vice Chair of the Supervisory Council has accepted the letter from the Healthcare Union and will review it. We'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And as we continue now with more news for you at this time, Vice Chairman of the Supervisory Council, Jim Rosen, has accepted a letter from President of the Healthcare Workers Union, President Nurse Brunilda Illich, on Tuesday, demanding a reprimand of Mr. Merleman from the Supervisory Board. Mr. Rosen says he will take the letter to the Supervisory Board and it will be reviewed. He hopes, however, that they can keep it reasonable. He also said he was unaware of the dispute between the workers and the CFO. In the letter of reprimand, some of the demands are the resignation of Mr. Merleman from the HR and the IT position with immediate effect, as according to the union, there is no place for him at the hospital.
Jim, you're a member of the Supervisory Board. What's your role on the Supervisory Board?
I'm the Vice Chairman.
You have received a letter from the WICOA, basically saying what?
You don't know as yet?
I have yet to open it.
Yeah,
I look forward to reading it. I just received it. So what I do know is we have issues we need to work out together, that we're only going to be strong together, that this is, there's no line between employee and employer, that everyone is dependent on everybody else. We cannot work without our employees, and if our employees are not in a good place, we need to show priority on that. Just as we would for any sick client that shows up at the SMMC, we have to take care of our people so they can take care of other people.
How soon do you intend to take this letter to the Supervisory Board overall?
Well, thanks to WhatsApp, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to photograph it and send it on our WhatsApp chat, and they're going to have it immediately.
In the meantime, what's your message to the union? Obviously, the action is continuing.
Well, my message is that I hope that we keep it reasonable. I understand the need for speaking out when things are wrong. Everybody's voice should be heard. We just want to make sure that our clients who are not feeling well as they come into the hospital don't feel uncomfortable by the action, so that everybody can show everybody respect. So my biggest concern right now is, of course, for any sick people coming into a hospital setting, and then after that, we take care of each other. So we always take care of our clients first.
Ms. Illich, you definitely have gotten the attention of the Supervisory Board. Your comments?
Well, it's a beginning of something positive, I must say. I never met Mr. Rosen, and it is. And I know he asked me to pull back, but I told him the action going to continue. The patience, and that's what I put in a interview already, the patients are not bothered. And the other thing is, this isn't the first time we stood up and the patients came first. This is about the fourth time that we stood up and we did this. And this one was massive. So the patient, they are okay, well taken care of. The nurses on the ward and the nurse, they hearing nothing much. They behind closed doors with air condition, and the supervisors are guiding it all. And head patient care manager is taking care of that. So I'm not slowing down till when I get a result for our staff. Our staff, without that, you got patient care.
Obviously, there is an urgent need for a speedy result coming from the supervisory board, or else you will be faced with the same situation over and over again, Mr. Rosen. Is there a possibility that you might just want to speed up the process a bit?
Well, here, we're socially distanced enough. Yes, this is a priority. We're going to try and arrange a meeting today or tomorrow as soon as possible. This is fairly new to the Supervisory Council. We're learning of it late. We can't let it go on. This is our responsibility to speak to the staff in this case, because this involves a member of the board of directors, and we're the boss of the board of the directors. So we have to take care of this immediately.
Inspiration for future struggles, because there are many. There are many. So long as one worker on this beautiful island is being oppressed,
They are management and inside board and so forth, but the board were over there have not given us the respect that we deserve by taking contact. I know some of them sit with me already on the board, so maybe that one. They're afraid. But that doesn't mean you can't come out and address your people. You have to address your people. If you can't find a solution one time, tell them I'm sitting and I'm deliberating with whoever you got to deliberate. But don't stay inactive and don't show your compassion, your understanding for the move. Because if these people here did not have a reason to stand up, I show you and get them in a black shot, and it's hot.
And General Secretary Reichnal Bakari Arundel, in response to reporters' question about the letter of reprimand and dismissal request, the General Secretary gave an insight into the letter. Meanwhile, President of the WICSU PSU, Deborah Rumbley, added that the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance have been very disrespectful with not replying to their letter. The President also said that they are also in support of the United Unions and they have every intention to tell their members where they are going from here.
Can you give us an insight into the letter? What does it entail?
The letter, to be honest, the letter, there's a number of inconsistencies, and it kind of hints as though agreements were made, and the question begs to be asked, which agreements are they talking about? Because each and every time government publishes a press release, we see new information each and every time. So therefore, we want to know what exactly are they referring to, and this is the reason why the union has always been calling for information. Once we get information and the cooperation from the esteemed government of St. Martin, we can avoid these particular things. As you can imagine, our members are now a bit confused. They are even more annoyed by the behavior of this particular government. And therefore, we are saying, you know what, we want to have a meeting with our members to explain and to determine the next step forward, Stephen.
Debbie, we have heard from Bakari Arundel. You are the president of the WICSU PSU. Anything you want to add to this?
What I could say is that I find the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister, they are very, very disrespectful because we've been questioning them, we've been sending letters, requesting answers, and up to today, they had no decency to send and let us know this is what their decision and how we're going to tackle it. We send it, we tell them, put everything on paper, let the unions know, so we can go to our members and tell them exactly what is what. Up to today, disrespect is placing things in the newspaper, on Facebook.
That's right.
That is disrespectful.
That's right.
Not because you name government mean you have to disrespect people.
That's right.
That is not correct.
In fact, throughout the entire week, Debbie, here you are, the two, yes, in support of the medical union, the healthcare union. Where do you go from here as a union?
Well, we have decided that every day we're going to tell our members exactly what we're going to do. We are going to have a meeting. Every night we have a meeting and the members will be informed what is going to be the next step. We're not going to publish it now. We're going to wait until the time comes, and then we will know, everybody will know what we're going to do.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for today, varying concentrations of Saharan dust will continue to cause hazy conditions across the region. Additionally, a stable atmosphere will restrict deep cloud formation and precipitation. Persons with allergies and/or respiratory illnesses should continue to take the necessary precautions. Moderate seas are expected for the next few days. So the outlook through Thursday midday, partly cloudy, hazy, and breezy with a passing shower possible. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, former Member of Parliament for the UP says he would have dealt with the immigration issue differently. I'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And as we continue now with more news, in other news at this time, the recent statement of the Minister of Justice to crack down on illegals on the island has garnered a reaction from the former Member of Parliament of the United People's Party, Theo Heiliger. Speaking on the program The Breakfast Lounge with Lady Grace last week, and in response to a question put to him regarding the subject, Mr. Heiliger made it clear that he would have dealt with the situation differently. He also highlighted some of the many areas in which immigrants contribute to the island's economy. The former Member of Parliament also cautioned against the announcement of a planned immigration crackdown. According to Mr. Heiliger, who also made reference to the Halted Planet Hollywood project in Great Bay, the government should come up with better ways to take care of its citizens.
I'm going to put it to you this way. The people that are illegally on the island, or I wouldn't even go that far, some of them have just issues because it just took so long to get the paperwork in place. This one is out of place, that one is out. So all of a sudden they fall through the cracks. And I think there's many of those that have had permits before and just didn't get a new one. And especially now in the last 3 months, how are you going to go to any office and get anything done? Okay, as a matter of fact, government should say, listen, for the last 5 months, nothing could happen in government. So I put a pause 5 months ago and give you another 5 months to get everything in order. Okay? Well, yeah, that's how I would have done it. You're talking about people on the island, they're paying rent to somebody, Grace. They're not sleeping on the road. We don't see them on the road. So they're paying rent to somebody. If they're paying rent to somebody, that means they're paying GB for electricity and water. Okay? To contact people, that means they're using a phone. That means tell them is also getting part of this. Okay? They're paying some form of taxes because they got to eat on the island. And if these supermarkets do put their true income forward. I mean, they're going to get TOT and things like that. If you just come with a policy, and you double down on the policy, as a matter of fact, to deport anybody that, but I'm talking workers and everything as well, you know our country has been also built with immigrants coming to the country. St. Martin has more diversity than anywhere else in the world. You cannot change that overnight, okay? You can't breed that kind of thing of it is the foreigner that has created the problem in St. Martin. No, because we've never embraced the person that has, even if you're born St. Martin, we don't embrace you, Grace. And that is a point there. I've said it in my speech, and I never will pull away from that. And I've told my wife as well, that is something that has to be done. You're born in St. Martin, Grace, to parents of foreign nationality. But I'm born in St. Martin, it must mean something. Now, if the Dutch say, no, you are not getting your passport because it is basically where your mother is from or whatever, that's fine. The Dutch could tell you that. It's their passport. Who am I? Okay? But I could at least tell you, you're born in St. Martin, I give you permanent residence right away. Okay. And what that does, Grace, it shows you that I belong to the country that I was born in. I have sat with an election time, you know, and the population knows I go to see everybody, and I go to the districts, and a lot of the young people that I have met as well, you'd be very, very surprised, born in St. Martin, but have no nationality, because the mother never put in for them and their country, and just not to, but say the mother is Dominican, okay? A child born in St. Martin. They never really registered the child and everything, but you can see that the child was born in St. Martin. That child grows up now with no nationality, okay? Now tries to get a nationality. And so these raids, you're going to go pick up that child and tell him go back to your own country? He's going to say, but just take me out of the bus, because this is my country. This is where I come from. This is where as we used to like to say, that way I'm born here now. I'm from here. Yeah. What are you going to tell the person, I am from here? You're born here and say, no, your mother, no, that's not fair to the person. And by not taking care of that situation, we are condoning the fact that the child has been here, or the child, now a grown man, 22 years old, wants to contribute to taxes, wants to work, but he is under the radar because he can't. A born here St. Martin now. So what are you going to do? People that go in the buses, we're going to start stopping the bus, take everybody out. And then, Grace, the other part, the humanity side of it. I mean, here, our airport isn't even open. And we're talking about deporting them. How are you going to deport? You're going to make them swim? What are you going to do? I mean, you cannot. You got to come up with better solutions to taking care of your population, Grace. You got to be able to say, listen, all projects. You know what hurts me? 2 years ago, and again, I'm a member of parliament. I asked the minister, I said, Minister, when you're going to sign the permits for Planet Hollywood, you make that a priority, get our hotels back up and running. After Irma, our people need jobs. Oh, yeah. And they go, 2 years later, 2 years, Grace, $100 million plus project, okay? Still sitting, and then finally the permit gets signed. And then it's taken to court. So because we go and pass all of these, and I'm sorry, I will say it, ridiculous laws, okay, to make us, oh yes, but then, you know, these are international nonsense. They know international. You got to look at St. Martin first, and then you look at the others outside. So now you have the judge telling thing that the permit is no longer valid, but it took you 2 years. The CEO of the company flew down, said, listen, you sign my permit in the next 60 days, I promise you, in the next 30 days thereafter, we breaking ground. Okay, we're going to break ground. We're going to fast track this thing. We'll design on the go during construction because we want to show the population that we're ready to invest in your country. Here is a company, Sunwing, that has its own planes, its own hotels throughout the region, in Canada and everything else. You think, Grace, now, 2 years, nearly 3 years later, okay, they haven't put anything in the ground other than investing in the property. So they don't have no skin in the game. So now I gotta worry if I'm the CEO. I gotta worry about my other resorts in the Caribbean. I gotta worry about my other planes, getting them off the business going again before I start thinking about investing in St. Martin. But we hold you up. You understand? We hold up your permits, can't get it going. And then we sit down and we complain about this and we complain about, but we're not moving anything for the economy because we're not being, look, Phillipsburg. What is Phillipsburg's biggest issue, Grace? Parking. For years, I've had a plan forward, but okay, every time the government keeps breaking, we need a 500-car parking garage in town. You need to push that, a project like that for Phillipsburg.
And as we continue with more news for you this evening, this item from the police blotter. One of the police department's mottos is to maintain a sense of security in the community, and as such, the St. Martin Police Force carried out several controls at various locations during the past week. These controls were held on June the 14th and 21st, 2020, respectively. During these controls, more than 500 vehicles were stopped and some 150 fines were issued. During this period also, the police arrested 15 persons for various offenses and infractions. A few of these controls were carried out in collaboration with the gendarmerie and other law enforcement agencies. The community can expect more of these controls to take place regularly. And still to come, former President of Parliament on Curaçao and former karate master succumbed to his illness on Curaçao. We'll have the details to that story when SXM Daily News returns. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, this item out of the island of Curaçao. Former President of Curaçao's Parliament and former karate master William Jr. Millerson died on Sunday morning. He was 67 years old. Mr. Millerson was battling cancer and was in the Netherlands for treatment, but the medical professionals were unable to do anything more for him. Mr. Millerson was a member of the coalition party PAR. PAR party member Stephen Walraud was quoted as saying that Mr. Millerson was truly a man of discipline and honor. The feeling of loss is great, not only in the PAR party, but also with all of his colleagues in the sports world and the people on the island of Curaçao and in the region. The PAR member of parliament also said that only a miracle could have saved Mr. Millerson. In the last phase, he was particularly well cared for in a family atmosphere. Early Sunday morning, the President of Parliament, Ana Maria Pauleta, informed Mr. Walraud that he had died. Gone too soon. May he rest in peace, he was quoted as saying. I am Valerie Van Putten. Just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.